Welcome to 2022. If you are looking to get directly into the tutorial, be sure to check the timestamps down below or the chapters that should be on the play bar below the video. But before we get into it, I just wanted to say thank you guys for the immense growth on the channel. It has been exponential over the past year. If you are new to the channel, my name is Blindrun, B-L-I-N-D-R-U-N. And that is my old Xbox gamer tag, at least the very first one that I ever used. It may even date back to Counter-Strike 1.6, and who knows at this point. I have been mining cryptocurrency since 2017 when I started the shift from a technology channel into cryptocurrency mining, and I took a hiatus during the bear market due to, of course, bear market depression and the demands at my day job. I have now transitioned thanks to mining cryptocurrency and staying diligent and this YouTube channel into full-time work as a content creator / cryptocurrency miner. So if you have any questions revolving that and how to go through these processes, let me know, and you can click the join button down below to access membership perks such as Rocket Chat, which is our privately hosted chat system. Today's video is going to be brought to you by Crypto.com, who is a sponsor on this channel. They are a long-term sponsor and will be carrying over the sponsorship into the year 2022. And I'm very excited to be working with them. They are the #1 go-to centralized exchange for myself to liquidate my cryptocurrency assets into fiat currency when needed to cover things like power bills, as well as rent, etc. We will be covering, of course, utilizing them a little bit today, but because of the nature of their app, I will just recommend that you go ahead and download it and look up some guides on their website to utilize it. The reason we'll be utilizing Crypto.com primarily is because they do support layer 2 payouts on the Polygon MATIC network. So disclaimers here for anybody that is a seasoned cryptocurrency miner. Everything that we'll be discussing today and the way this tutorial is constructed is to make it as simple as possible, as well as the most reliable, so it will last the entire year. That means we will be using the mining pool ethermine.org because they have been around the longest and they also support Polygon MATIC network payouts. We will be using the Polygon MATIC network method of payouts because of the reduced fees, and that is going to be very important for this year within mining Ethereum. And then we will be utilizing the MetaMask wallet so that you control your own keys. While some of this can be a little bit more complicated, it is important to make sure that we cover these types of things so that people understand cryptocurrency from the very basics, essentially the principles of controlling your own keys, and then of course the ability to liquidate that over to Crypto.com. So these are the reasons why we have made the choices in today's particular tutorial, and we're going to get into it. But first of all, don't forget the sponsor is Crypto.com, and if you head on over to Crypto.com, you can use the referral code SOAT, SOAT for short, or for the saying, and you can receive a $25 funding fee, and I will receive that same $25, hence the sponsorship and affiliation with Crypto.com, and that's how we support the channel. Let's go ahead and hop right in. Okay, so welcome to the tutorial. And what we have here is a tutorial for Ethereum mining on Windows 11. Now, if you're just getting into mining, there are going to be a few things that you need to be aware of. First of all, the GPU requirements for Ethereum is going to be above 4 gigabytes of VRAM. So if you do not have at least like a 1060 with 6 gigabytes of VRAM or an RX 470 with 8 gigabytes of VRAM, this will not work on your system and the miner will show errors. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and talk about browsers. While you can use any Chromium-based browser to access MetaMask, we are going to be using Brave browser today. So if you're looking to use Brave browser, you're just going to go ahead and go to brave.com, and in the top right hand corner you will click download Brave. At this point it will download the setup.exe file, and you're going to click open and get it running. Windows will ask you if you basically want to allow this to happen, and you will say yes. Now this tutorial is being done on pretty much a vanilla Windows install, so all of the things like antivirus, etc. will be covered during this video. Now that we have Brave browser installed, we're going to want to head to metamask.io. Please use the link in the description or manually type out metamask.io. This is going to be important because a lot of hacks are happening right now if you do not download the proper MetaMask plugin. Essentially, it's known as Rotten Seeds, and if you want to know the details on that, we have videos on this channel that cover it. Once at metamask.io, you will click download now. It will give you the option for Brave, iOS, or Android. We will click install MetaMask for Brave. If you are on Chrome, it will say install MetaMask for Chrome. At this point, it will take you to the Chrome Web Store, and you will have the button to add to Brave. We're going to go ahead and click add to Brave, and then we are going to click the add extension button. At this point, you should see a pop-up that says MetaMask has been added to Brave, and then it should pop up into the Getting Started page. If it doesn't, you can copy the link or click the little plugin button up at the top. Now, before we get started, I do like to click the little plugin puzzle piece in the Brave browser and then click the pinned button so that I can access it quickly from the pins up here. Now, at this point, you're going to want to click Get Started, and then we are going to be creating a new wallet. Now, it should be important to note all of these things and read through them thoroughly. They are very important when you are getting into cryptocurrency. So MetaMask will always allow you to opt out via settings and sending anonymous data as well. You can always opt out of those. It will never collect your keys, addresses, transactions, balances, hashes, or any personal information, and it will never collect your full IP address or sell data for profit, ever. So at this point, you can go ahead and click I agree if you agree to those terms, and then you will create a password. Now, for password generation, what I suggest using is a random password generator. There are password vaults in programs and applications such as LastPass and Dashlane. All of them have pretty much been compromised at some point, and I wouldn't recommend using a direct browser plugin one or one that is stored in the cloud. I would get one that is stored locally on your machine. But for today's tutorial, we're going to go ahead and use a website called random.org. Now on random.org, you're going to want to scroll down and find the password generator. Click the password generator, and you can make it as long as it's needed. Minimum 8 characters, so we're just going to leave it for the 8 and click the Get Passwords button. Select a random one out of here and just do a Control-C to copy it over. And we're just going to go ahead and paste it in and say I have read and agreed to the terms of service, and then click Create. At this point, it does have information on securing your wallet, and it's going to talk to you about the secret recovery phase and how to keep your wallet safe. Now, this is super important to go ahead and watch. I will be covering the secret recovery phrase, etc., but you should be aware of the additional option of watching this video to be covered. So we're going to click next, and here's where we will get our secret recovery phrase. When we click this button, it's going to basically reveal our recovery seed, and this should be kept private at all times. If somebody has this seed, they can click the import button instead of the create new wallet button at the beginning of the install, input this seed, and have complete access to your wallet. And this is going to be obviously beneficial to them and not beneficial to you. So protect this at all costs. I'm going to go ahead and reveal it so we can go through the process. Now, there are a couple ways to secure your recovery seed. You can either write it down on a piece of paper and store it in a safe. Now, a piece of paper can be damaged very easily by, of course, things like fire or floods, and you may want to consider utilizing basically what's known as an etcher, and you can order them off Amazon. I'll leave some links down below, and you can etch in the recovery phase into a piece of metal that will be resistant to, of course, fire or flooding, etc. Another note about this is if you want to store this quickly or move it between machines, there are a couple different methods. One method is going to be utilizing a USB drive. If you utilize a USB drive, you can essentially encrypt that drive, easiest way being BitLocker, and then it would be only unlocked via, your encryption method or encryption password. Or you can utilize a cloud service like NordLocker. Now, of course, if NordLocker gets compromised in some form or fashion and it's running on a live system all the time, you could be compromised there. But it is an option if you wanted something a little bit easier from that perspective. At this point, though, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to do a Control-C and we're going to open a notepad. Now, do not store this notepad, obviously, on your desktop or anywhere that somebody could find it. And I think that you should write it down no matter what. But for sake of demonstration, we're just going to have that notepad open here so that you guys can basically see how the process works. So now that we have our recovery seed and we've either saved it on a physical piece of hardware, right? Or that we've taken it and put it into a encrypted USB drive or an encrypted cloud service like NordLocker, we can go ahead and click next. At this point, it's going to ask you to enter the phrase in order. So what you're going to do is in order, we have the immune, then we have the misery, then we have glad, then we have army, then we have myth, then we have alcohol, then we have bicycle, then we have jaguar, then we have whole, then we have mistake, then we have angry, and then we have build. At this point, you can click confirm, and as long as you've typed it in correctly, it should say congratulations, you've passed the test. Keep that phrase safe. We're going to go ahead and click all done at this point, and basically we have some more tutorial stuff. We don't really need it right now. Basically, we just need our wallet open, and here is going to be your account address. If you want to see it on the details, you can click the ellipses and click account details. This address will be the same across the board no matter what network you're on. This is part of the reason why you can send layer 2 payments on the Polygon network that we're going to show you how to set up from this address to crypto.com. At this point, we are going to go ahead and get the MetaMask set up with your Polygon network or with a Polygon network. Now, this can be obviously a little bit cumbersome, and we have another detailed guide that you can check out as well. And if you get confused, that's okay. Just ask some questions in chat, in the comment section, or of course in a support channel on various Discords. So we're going to go ahead and click the down button and click add network. Now, to make this a little bit easier, I'm going to go ahead and grab the information, and the information will be in the description down below for you to essentially be able to copy and paste the information into the boxes. So for the network name, we're going to do Polygon. For the new RPC URL, we're going to do https:// right? Polygon-rpc.com/. On the chain ID, we're going to do 137. And on the currency symbol, it's going to be all capitals MATIC. And for the block explorer, it's going to be https://polygonscan.com. All right, so this is how your settings should look. And what you can do from here is go ahead and click the save button. And then at this point in the top right, you can either go between your Ethereum mainnet and your Polygon mainnet. Okay, so the next step is that we're going to go ahead and need to get Ethereum into our asset list within MATIC. To do this, we're going to go ahead and head to wallet.polygon.technology. Please either follow the link in the description or fully type it out. Do not search for it in Google because you could end up being compromised if you do so. At this point, you're going to go ahead and click Connect to Wallet and select MetaMask. You will then click the sign button, and then at this point, you will be connected to Polygon, and you will click Polygon Wallet. From here, you can highlight over Ethereum and click the MetaMask icon and click Add Token. At this point, you should be able to go back to the MetaMask tab and you will see MATIC and Ethereum listed here for your assets. This is important because you will be getting paid out in Ethereum on MATIC, and you will need to basically have this up to see your balance. Okay, so we should discuss faucets here. Now with faucets, if you were connecting maybe to the MATIC network and you already had a MetaMask account and you wanted to bridge over from Ethereum to MATIC, you would need a little bit of MATIC within your Polygon network to go ahead and basically make those transactions. But in the case of actually utilizing and receiving payments from Ethermine, which is the pool we're going to be using, this will not be necessary. If you want to basically look at the full guide for MATIC so that you can get that sorted, definitely check out my video that we made earlier this year. So let's go ahead and get into the fun part, which is going to be the mining. Now, if you're going to Google it, you want to search for the miner as LOL Miner GitHub. Some of the things that you want to avoid is going to be navigating to a website that is like lolminer.com or something along those lines, because they can be basically viruses, etc. This is going to be very important because essentially all miners are flagged as viruses within Windows. And that is going to obviously create issues, because what we will have to do is create an exclusion for, of course, these miners. To do that, what we are going to do is go to our desktop and right click, Show More Options, highlight New, and create a folder. We're going to name our folder Miners. That way, we basically have a folder for our miners, and then we're going to add an exclusion into our antivirus. So we're going to click the search button and search for antivirus and open Virus and Threat Protection. We're going to scroll down and click the Manage Settings under Virus and Threat Protection Settings. We're then going to scroll down and click Add or Remove Exclusions. You will get a user account control notification that you'll click Yes on, and then you'll click the Add Exclusion button and folder. We are going to select the miners folder that we created on the desktop and click Select Folder. It has now been added to the exclusions and should not flag anything that is in that folder specifically, but still maintain your antivirus for the rest of your system, which is important. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and go back and head to the GitHub, which will be directly linked down below. Please utilize the direct link down below or manually type in github.com/LOLLIEDIEB/LOL-miner-releases/releases. At that point, we are going to be downloading LOL version 1.39. You will see the option for the Windows, which is the second option under Assets, and click it. At this point, it'll ask you to save it, and we are going to save it to Downloads. Once it's completed the download, we're going to click the up arrow on the bottom left where the download is showing in the browser and click Show in Folder. At this point, we're going to right click and say Extract All. And then we are going to click the Browse button. We're going to head to the desktop and the miners folder that we excluded within the antivirus and click Select Folder. At this point, we're going to click Extract, and then we should see all of these files. Now, if you downloaded it or extracted it to the incorrect location that is being monitored by an antivirus application, this executable will be removed. And in a lot of cases, a lot of the batch files will be removed as well. So if this happened to you, make sure you go back into your exclusions or your antivirus and add the exclusions for this folder, and then you should be good to go. So at this point, we have the miner ready to go, and we need to configure our mining pool. So to configure our mining pool, we are going to go ahead and head on over to ethermine.org. Once again, making sure that you type out the ethermine.org within the browser bar, or go down into the description and click the direct link that will be provided there. At this point, we are going to go ahead and enter our miner address. To do this, we'll go back to our MetaMask wallet and click the account to copy the address. We will then paste it into the address bar here and click the search button. At this point, it'll show basically our mining performance. We are not mining yet at this point, so we need to get set there. However, first of all, we need to change some settings. So we're going to go ahead and click the settings button under our account tab. And then down here, we have our notifications. We can set the email address if we like, so you get alerts, etc. And then you can basically validate changes by one of two methods. You can either validate it via the IP, your public IP address that you're mining from, or through your MetaMask wallet. Now, in this case, I would use, of course, the MetaMask wallet to change any of these settings. So we'll click Connect Wallet, and then we'll click the MetaMask button. At this point, it will say Connect with MetaMask, and we have our account selected here, and we will click Next and Connect. At this point, we're going to go ahead and click the Payment Methods tab, and we're going to select the L2 Polygon option. What this is going to do is pay us in wrapped ETH on the Polygon network, and we will click the Sign and Save settings. It will have you sign the contact address or sign the signature request, or essentially within the MetaMask wallet. So you click the Sign button. At this point, you have it set up on Polygon network, and you can move on to basically mining. So at this point, we need to go back to our File Explorer and look for the batch file that says mine_ETH. We're going to right click it, click Show More Options, and click Edit. You will get a Windows Protected Your PC alert. You're going to click the More Info button and click Run Anyway. Now, a huge disclaimer here, once again, is going to be that essentially, since all of the miners are flagged as viruses and potentially malicious, you will be basically bypassing any protection you have within this folder. Because of that, I still would never recommend to run any mining on a machine that has any personal data or information on it. So this includes like financial information, credit cards, names, addresses, that sort of thing, if you want that information to be private, because that's the only way to ensure that you won't run into any issues. I go to the lengths of, on this particular machine, which is the test bench, of still having some gaming accounts on there like the Steam, but I have no financial information provided directly to Steam. It's forced to basically approve every single time for any sort of purchases, and it goes through PayPal. So adding additional steps for any access to like maybe games or whatever is recommended as well on that machine, because I assume a lot of you will be using, of course, like a gaming machine for this. All right, so we're going to go ahead and click Run Anyway, and we will have essentially what is our configuration file here. Now, what we want to set are the pools as well as the wallet addresses. So for the pool, we're going to go ahead and go back in, and we are going to click the Start Mining button, and you will have essentially a bunch of addresses here. What you want to do is copy the addresses for your geographical location. In this case, for US, we're going to do US East and US West. We're going to open the notepad back up here, and for the pool 1, we're going to type in the East address with a paste, and then we will need the port, which we'll go ahead and get. It says here that we're going to use the Stratum port 4444. So you'll do a colon 4444. You can copy it directly out of the description as well. And then we're going to copy the US West address as well. So we'll do a Control C, and we will go ahead and paste that in as well over pool 2, which is the backup pool with port 4444. And this is essentially going to say mine to Ethermine. The next step that we need to do is set our wallet address. The wallet address that we'll be setting is the same one in our MetaMask account. So we'll go back to MetaMask and copy the MetaMask account address. And then we will paste that in after the equal sign and before the period here, and do Control V. So now that we have our address in there, we can name our rig. So what we can do here is just highlight this and type in whatever we want so that we can see it in the pool whenever it reports. So once you have all of this set, you're going to click File and Save. And then you will go back to the folder. In some cases, what I like to do is just go in and rename this. So we are going to have it named ETH. And then we will have it named Ethermine. ETH underscore Ethermine underscore Polygon .bat and enter. Now, in some cases, you may not have the extension file. If you do not have the extension file, you want to go to the search button and click for folder options. And then under here, you want to click the view button, and you want to click the show hidden files and folders and drives. You also, in some cases, want to uncheck uncheck the hide extensions for known file types and click apply and OK. And then at that point, you'll see whatever the extension is, which is the 3 letters after the dot file. So at this point, we are ready to start mining, and we will double click the batch file. Now what's happening here is that it's building the DAG. Think of the DAG as essentially the data needed to start hashing. The GPU we currently have on the system is a 3060 Ti, and it is at stock settings. So this would be indicative of something along those lines. In your particular case, that may vary depending on which GPU you have, but you should start seeing something that says average speed and the speed, which is going to be, in this case, 51.13, and then MH stands for mega hash, and the S stands for a second. So 51.12 mega hash a second. Okay, so after about 10 to 15 minutes, you can go back to ethermine.org and type in your address. So to do this, you're going to basically go to ethermine.org, and under the Ethermine address, you're going to paste it in. It should have it memorized as well, and you can click it instead. And it will show your hash rate, your average hash rate, and your reported. The average and the current will eventually start to get closer to the reported. You also over here have valid, stale, and invalid shares. Valid shares means you're good to go. Stale shares means that you probably have a connectivity issue. If these get too high, above something like 2%, you may want to look at the connectivity to the pool, maybe your network settings, something along those lines. And invalid shares typically happen when your overclock is too much or your memory modules are overheating. So if you basically have invalid shares, you're going to want to turn off your overclock. And if you continue to have invalid shares after turning off your overclock, you may want to check your thermal pads and thermal paste on your GPU at that point. And that should pretty much cover it. Up here in the top right, you will have your estimated earnings. You can go through the different denominations by clicking this button, and we'll show you US dollar, Bitcoin, and European, CNY, Ruby, and then Ethereum. You can also come over here and change it by daily, weekly, monthly, and see what your estimated earnings would be there. In the middle here is what you actually are probably going to be earning, and that would be your unpaid balance. Now, as this goes up, it needs to meet whatever your payment threshold is. To change this, you can go to the settings tab and click the payment method. And basically what you want to see here is that essentially you have a payout after 0.005 Ethereum. So if you go back to the dashboard, as soon as this is at 0.005 Ethereum, it will initiate a payout. Now the payouts run on cycles, so it won't happen exactly when you hit that necessarily, but it should happen at some point after you've met that threshold. Once it has met that threshold and made a payment, it'll go out of the unpaid balance, and then you can go ahead and click the MetaMask button, click the assets, and you should have an Ethereum balance. Now from here, you can send it out to crypto.com by clicking the Send ETH button and basically putting in the public address for, of course, Ethereum. MetaMask also has, of course, a mobile app that you can download, which can make things easier for scanning, of course, different addresses, etc. So that's how to mine Ethereum on Windows 11 in 2022. Yes, it's gotten more complicated, and there are even more options for mining Ethereum to date. We have 2 miners with options for Nano as well as BTC or Bitcoin payouts to reduce fees. We also have FlexPool, which offers the same layer 2 payouts on Polygon as well. You can obviously swap out different technologies, different pools, essentially different wallets and different exchanges for any of these, and you just need to go through the guides. We cover a plethora of them on the channel, and if you are looking for more and more information and building up your mining operation past maybe just your single GPU on your gaming rig, definitely hit the like and the notification bell down below, as well as the subscribe button so that the algorithm knows to let you know when I've posted a video. I hope that you'll visit the channel again, and for everybody that is returning, I thank you guys very much for watching this video and returning to the channel. You have a happy new year, enjoy 2022, and if you don't watch another video until next year, well, it might be a how to mine a different currency if the merge actually happens in June of 2022 for Ethereum, and it is no longer mineable and proof of stake. Stay tuned to the channel for all things cryptocurrency, especially when it comes to cryptocurrency mining and GPUs in general, as well as moving into some ASICs and CPUs too. Don't forget to check out today's sponsor, crypto.com, and use referral code SOAT when signing up for a $25 funding bonus. Thanks for watching once again, and as always, I will see you next Tuesday. If you enjoyed this video, check out more crypto content up here, or go ahead and subscribe. Either way,